If I bring up artistic games, you'll probably think three things. Love them, hate them, or don't care either way. Now, The Graveyard is an artistic game. In fact, on its site, it claims to be more of a interactive art than a game, which means I have to grade it as a game and as art. Now, as a game, The Graveyard is very lacking. The main point of the game can simply be dumbed down to this. Go from point A to point B, and then come back to point A, or die at point B. The point A is the beginning of the graveyard, and point B is the bench which you guide your little old lady to sit at. Nothing happens in between, such as ninjas popping out to kidnap you because you are from some lost lineage. You just go to a bench, sit, and then leave. Or you can stay there, let some catchy song play, and die! It's up to you! Another problem on the game side is that the camera doesn't quite accommodate itself to you going off the central track. It does pan out some, but you can easily go off the screen and, if like me, not be able to get back in frame as your old granny walks like a tank. Think Resident Evil. Also, as it zooms out some, it takes away from what could be info on the graves and could help add some importance on why you decided to come here in the first place. Now, to ease us into the art part of the game, the best thing to segue into that is by talking about the graphics and art direction. The art in the game is impressive, being both detailed and have an artistic black and white lens over it. The detail of both the old lady and environment is quite impressive, especially coming from an indie game company. And that leads us into the artistic portion of the game. Bet all of you art majors out there are excited. Now, the game might seem simple and lacking to most of us, but underneath the game is a deeper meaning that most of us will not get. One of the most discussed and talked about meanings is that it conveys the meaning of death. As mentioned earlier, you can die in the game. However, unlike other games out there, you don't get a game over screen. It would probably tell you that you died from old age, by the way. When you die, the music slowly fades away and the world goes on. Birds are still chirping, singing and flying about. The game and time go on. And you are dead. You have to actually close out of the game and reopen it just to get the option to replay it. But guess what? Your old lady is still there on the bench, dead. There might be some more deeper and elaborate meanings in it, but I am awful at these type of things. If you know how to analyze art and possibly poetry, you might get a lot of what's going on here. The final thing to talk about, which we have never had to talk about before, is the money factor. The game costs $5, unless you get it for free like me when they offered it for free. For me, The Graveyard isn't worth $5, but obviously some of you will probably disagree. If it was free or maybe cost $1, I would understand, but when there are better products out there for even less than that, it seems out of place. The best way to sum this up is this. If you want a game, don't get this. But if you're looking for art, then you might find something worth looking into. I will say this though. When the game is free again, I would highly recommend everyone out there to at least try it once. The Graveyard gets 3 dead old ladies out of 5.
This night, walk the dead in a solitary stone, crash the cemetery gates in the dress you're